Hey guys, Nate Tice here from the Athletic Football Show, back again with the YouTube series where I'll be looking at the top quarterback prospects for the 2023 NFL Draft. Today, going to be looking at Kentucky's Will Levis. Going to be breaking down his strengths, weaknesses of the Penn State transfer. He's big, he's strong, he drinks coffee with a shot of mayo. Let's see what else Will Levis brings to the table. When talking about the strengths of Will Levis, you have to start with his literal strength and size. He's 6'4", 230 pounds, over 10.5-inch hands. He had people actually coming out the last few months saying that he's too strong and too jacked, which I really wish I had that problem considering we're the exact same size and weight. I don't think that is detrimental to his playstyle, however, something I'll get to in a second. He has that idealistic frame that you want in a modern NFL quarterback. And this shows up with his ability to withstand blows and hits when operating from the pocket and as a runner, things he had to deal with a lot during his time at Kentucky and something we'll get to more into in a second. On top of the size traits that Levis has, he also has the athletic traits that you want in a modern NFL quarterback. He's a good scrambler that can create a little bit with his legs. You can use him on design rushes like zone reads or something up the middle. That's something that actually Penn State did during his time there. He was essentially a glorified Wildcat quarterback. Think like a Taysom Hill type during his time at Penn State. But when he went to Kentucky, you still see this crop up, some zone reads. He's great on QB sneaks because of his size and athleticism and his toughness. He's willing to take those shots and try and create something and pick up the first down. Now, his vision as a runner, it's mediocre. He's kind of a magnet for contact, and sometimes you want him to just go down or make it easy on himself, but you do appreciate the toughness that shows up when he has the ball in his hands. The offense that Levis played in at Kentucky was also an NFL scheme. Both of his offensive coordinators have NFL experience, specifically from the Shanahan tree, who has to do a lot from under center in the run game, a lot of shifts and motions before the snap. He was asked to turn his back to the defense on play action and quick hitting play action too, where he has zero fat in his footwork and he has to get the ball out, and he was able to deliver on those throws. He was doing quick hitting RPO plays from under center, stuff that you see in Shanahan offenses that you see on Sundays all the time, and there's Levis doing it on Saturdays. That experience in NFL scheme also shows up on 3rd and long or when Levis had to drop back. Here's one play where he's reading the squeeze of the defenders and progresses on 3rd and extra long. It would have converted if his teammate doesn't fumble. And don't you worry, I'm going to be talking about his teammates at Kentucky in just one second. Here's another 3rd and long where he's patient. He does a experienced quarterback play here and takes the check down. It's 3rd and extra long here, and it makes it 4th and 1. And yeah, you wish he would get the first down, but doesn't matter. Kentucky goes for it on 4th and 1 and converts on the next play. Taking the safe play created another play and created a new set of downs. Positive plays in tough situations. Here he is on another 3rd down. He progresses from one side of the field to another against Northern Illinois, turns it into a touchdown. His teammate does the rest, and notice that he takes another shot here as he's delivering the football. Here's a cool sequence on the same drive against Ole Miss. He goes from a tight end stick route. The tight end's a little short on the route, so that's why it's a little behind on the throw. And then on the next one, he reads the tight end, sees it's covered, calmly progresses and hits the over route, completes another first down, both coming on the same drive. All these things translate to the next level and make his transition just a tad easier than the other quarterbacks, just because of the experience he's had the past couple of years in Lexington. The other thing that flashes on the film when you watch Levis is that he truly has great arm strength that even touches on excellent at times. He can deliver throws all over the yard, whether it's pushing ball down the field on a traditional post or a deep corner, or this go ball from the opposite hash against Mississippi State. And again, this is a little more impressive than you think at first, because yeah, it's just a go ball, quote unquote, just a go ball, but he's doing it from the college hashes, whipping it across the field and doing it from a tight pocket with not a lot of room to operate. He can maximize plays and room for error with this combination of a quick throwing motion and ability to zip those balls in, especially on the intermediate parts of the field. He can drive on throws like Diggs without needing, again, a huge room to operate. Whether it's moving in the pocket, maximizing the yards after catch here, like against Northern Illinois, or hanging in the pocket and completing a tight window throw against Ole Miss, taking a hit, but also getting the ball off at the last possible second to hit this play and complete it. The ball truly pops off his hand, where it's just a blur when you watch it on film. That quick throwing motion also makes Levis conducive for underneath throws like quick game and RPOs and screens. It shows up time and time again how quickly he's able to get rid of the ball into his teammates' hands. It also opens up windows in places like the red zone where defenses are tighter. There's arms everywhere. It's like going against a Syracuse 2-3 zone down there. And look at this play against Mississippi State. He resets, and again, you see that blur on the screen, and it's a touchdown for Kentucky. That translates to the NFL level. It only gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and Levis shows time and again that he's able to get rid of the ball quickly, and because he has so much pop with his arm, he can get it and put it on the spot and pin it on his teammate's chest. Now it's time to talk about the lack of help that Levis got at Kentucky, especially in the 2022 season. He was constantly under duress in the pocket, and even times when he promptly got rid of the ball, he's taking hits, sometimes quicker than it should even be expected of a quarterback. There's times he's trying to do the right thing and progress from the pocket, and he literally can't because the pocket is obliterated before he can do anything. He'll have to resort to trick shots and changing arm angles to get rid of the ball in tight pockets or while getting hit. And he's actually consistently able to do so and rip off positive plays in areas that you weren't expecting a positive play to come from. Even times that he did deliver the throw, it was still a question mark whether his teammate would come down with it. There's drops that happen almost every drive, and they were drive killers and put him in, tough situations that he had to deal with time and time again. I actually do think that this will make the step up to the NFL a bit easier to adjust to because he's used to the tight pockets, standing in and throwing while getting hit. Having to adjust those arm angles over pass rushers are all things that you have to do every week at the NFL level. Teammates get hurt. You have a bad matchup. Top QBs are asked to hide the blemishes of their teammates in the NFL, and Levis already has experience in doing so. Now time for some weaknesses with Will Levis. There's times in the pocket where he can feel almost robotic in his movements and how he times up things and where his eyes go. You can see him trying to do the right thing with his pocket movement, but sometimes it feels like he's not truly feeling it. There's not that kind of sixth sense going on, but more of, oh, I did this drill and during practice, I'm going to do it now during the game. Here's an example where he drifts to the left in the pocket and for no reason and creates a pressure and a tough throw for himself, and it ends up being an incomplete ball in the red zone. Or here where his eyes come down and he starts to bail in the pocket against Northern Illinois, ends up taking a sack. He should be stepping up and leaning into the punch of the pass rush, but instead drifts to the right and creates that sack. Usually when a quarterback's eyes are coming down, you question their willingness to hang in the pocket and make a play from there and do the tough stuff. And Levis's toughness should not be a question in anyone's mind. He is a tough football player. That is actually the first thing that stands out, along with his arm strength when you watch this guy. But his feel in the pocket, and while not bad, it just still needs some work. It's robotic, but not in the sense where he's stiff, but more in the sense where he predetermines some things, his movements, and he just needs to work on that feel a little bit. And some of the footwork stuff and the robotic play of Levis will show up at times when he's attempting to actually do the more wild things, some of the trick shots. His footwork can get out of whack, and it causes some accuracy issues. I will not say that Levis is not accurate. I think he is fine in that category. I think he's above average, sometimes even good with his accuracy. But there's times where he'll have sprays because he's trying to do too much. His feet are up in the air as he's trying to throw the ball. And again, I do like the trick shot aspect of his game, but there's times where you just want to calm him down, get a beat faster with his feet. And so that'll limit those sprays that seem to crop up about once a quarter when you watched him before. Last thing to note with Levis is that he is a bit older as a prospect. He'll turn 24 in June. This is not damning the quarterback position. You're willing to adjust for some older prospects. Joe Burrow was a bit older, and this is not like a Brandon Weeden type situation. The guy's pushing 30 and you draft him in the first round. But when you're looking at room for improvement or room for growth, you have to be realistic about what his age is when the guy is about the same age as Trevor Lawrence, and saying that his game is not complete, and have to be realistic about how much room for growth and room for improvement there is. As far as best potential team fit for Levis, there's actually a couple I really do like. The Houston Texans with Bobby Sloak as offensive coordinator running a Shanahan scheme. I'm sure they watched Levis at Kentucky and they're like, hey, I recognize that play. And I'm sure there's plenty of offensive coordinators and quarterback coaches around the league that are thinking the same thing. And the Texans are positioned either at pick 2 or pick 12. They do some movement to take Levis, and I do like that fit. Another team picking in the top 10, the Las Vegas Raiders. Josh McDaniels is not a Shanahan scheme guy. He runs his own stuff, but they do a lot of under center. They do a lot of quick hitting play action plays. And I actually do think Levis's game translates nicely to that offense, especially working with Jimmy G and maybe polishing some of the blemishes that Levis has. I really do think he would be a good fit in Las Vegas. And for a pro comparison for Will Levis, going with Ryan Tannehill. both have that line drivey throwing style that's best throwing digs and in breakers. They're both big and tough, willing to stand in the pocket, going to fire off throws all over the yard while pass rush is bearing down. And you look at the throw they just made, you slap on the butt, appreciate the 20-yard gain, and give them an ice pack for the ribs for the next day. Both are good athletes. You can use them on designed runs, especially in high leverage situations. Tannehill was originally drafted in the top 10 by the Dolphins and played in offenses under Mike Sherman and Adam Gase, and those offenses weren't totally conducive to his skill set. Gase was using him in spread out offense and trying to have him dink and dunk like a South Beach Peyton Manning. He gets traded to the Titans first year in 2019 under Arthur Smith and gets unlocked. He used him in quick hitting play action stuff, let him throw digs, let him stand strong in the pocket, then use him on those occasional runs. And then that success from that Pro Bowl year in 2019 continued for Tannehill in his time in Tennessee. Also think that type of offense and that type of usage will be best for Will Levis entering the NFL level. Thank you all so much for checking out this video and my breakdown of Will Levis. Please like and subscribe to the Athletic Football Show's YouTube channel. We have so much great content on here, especially in the draft season. We have a video on Bijan Robinson and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I did a breakdown of CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, and next time I'll be doing a video on Anthony Richardson, who, spoilers, I'm pretty optimistic about. We have a draft show coming next week. Me, Robert Mays, Dane Brugler will be there. Rounds 1, rounds 2, rounds 3, live, breaking down the draft, providing analysis. Please, please, please make sure to check it out, and I'll see you guys next time.